Chosen one. Someone in your family made an alliance with a witch. Are you ready? Because this is no ordinary message. This is the revelation of an ancient plan behind the scenes. Maybe you have felt it for a long time, that something is wrong in your family, that your energy is broken, that your path is blocked for no reason. And now you see the truth. They are playing from the inside to stop you. Someone in your family may have colluded with the darkness to suppress your power, to extinguish your light. But do not be afraid, because this realization is the first step to breaking the chains. In this video, you will learn how to untie the bonds that hold you back, how to reclaim your energy and reconnect to divine protection. You are the chosen one. The darkness fears you, because the light that burns within you reveals everything. Now is the time to open your eyes, awaken your soul, and claim the truth. Write 777 in the comments now. The game has changed. There is a destiny to be rewritten, and you are its protagonist. There are moments that reveal the magnitude of a presence. This is one of them. The intensity with which efforts have been made to slow your stride speaks to something far deeper than simple resistance. It's a reflection of the disruptive potential housed in your existence. Not one, not two, but many have been compelled to respond, not out of strength, but out of panic. A solitary flame wouldn't summon a storm, but a wildfire might. The very act of their union against you whispers a silent truth. Your influence is seismic. This is not misfortune. This is not strange coincidence. This is confirmation. They have had to compensate in numbers for what they cannot match in essence. Their anxiety is beginning to show in the cracks of their coordination. Even before transformation fully takes root, the distractions arrive like clockwork. The static in your mind, the sudden noise, the persistent pull toward meaningless tasks, it's all part of a refined mechanism. It doesn't arise from randomness, but precision. Every approach toward clarity is met with disruption. Every inch gained is contested. Communications drop. People switch moods. Energy evaporates. Reality momentarily distorts to pull you from that breakthrough. And yet, you're still here. Still present. Still anchored. That's what unsettles them most. You weren't meant to bypass the maze, but you're already halfway through it. Their blueprint was not designed for resilience like yours. Imagine a mighty river, winding through rugged canyons and steep valleys, a river that, despite every rock and boulder thrown in its path, persists in its journey toward the vast ocean of promise. This river, with its unwavering force and gentle determination, is much like the divine message that has found its way to you. The arrival of this message was anything but easy. Barriers, both visible and unseen, have tried to reroute its course. Yet here it stands, and here you are, a testament to the unstoppable nature of divine purpose. In our everyday lives, we often face obstacles that seem insurmountable. There are moments when confusion and doubt cloud our vision, when life's challenges appear to conspire against us. But just as that mighty river finds its way through even the narrowest passage, so too has this message carved its path directly to your heart. It has come through a labyrinth of distractions, detours, and unexpected hardships, a series of trials that have been carefully arranged to prepare you for this very moment. This is no random occurrence or accidental twist of fate. It is the work of a higher plan, an intricate design woven with precision by hands that know exactly what is best for you. You see, every obstacle you encounter, every setback that seems to hold you back, is really a stepping stone laid out on your journey to prosperity. Each challenge is a lesson, a signpost guiding you to unlock the treasures within your spirit. When you look back on your life, you will see that every moment of struggle was also a moment of preparation, a necessary delay before the dawn of your breakthrough. And now, as you stand at this juncture, you can feel the divine orchestration at work. It is as if every twist and turn in your journey has been arranged to lead you here, to connect you with this message of hope and promise. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. There is a profound significance in the way things align for you. In the midst of life's chaos, when it feels like every door is closing, know that the universe is quietly aligning itself in your favor. The challenges you face are not meant to stop you, but to fortify your spirit, to make you resilient and ready for the abundance that awaits. Every moment of hesitation, every whisper of self-doubt, has been met with a force that nudges you forward, a gentle, persistent reminder that you are meant for greatness. The design behind your life is as intricate as it is purposeful, a tapestry of experiences, interwoven with precision and love. It is not by chance that you have reached this point. Your journey has been marked by an unyielding spirit and an inner fire that refuses to be extinguished. Each trial, each moment of despair, has only added to the reservoir of strength within you. And now, as you stand on the precipice of a new beginning, you can see clearly that the very challenges that once threatened to overwhelm you have also prepared you to receive the full measure of the blessings that are coming your way. Think about the times when everything seemed to be working against you, the moments when plans fell apart, relationships cooled unexpectedly, or opportunities vanished without explanation. These were not mere coincidences. They were deliberate interventions, carefully set in motion to steer you away from mediocrity and toward the life you were destined to lead. Every misstep, every delay, every instance of apparent failure was a gentle push from the universe, urging you to rise above the ordinary and step into a realm of abundance and purpose. Now is the time to embrace this truth with an open heart. Recognize that every barrier you encounter is part of a larger, divine strategy designed to bring forth your greatest potential. The challenges you face are not punishments, but preludes to a magnificent unfolding, a symphony of triumph that has been waiting just for you. Let the image of that mighty river remind you that no obstacle is too great, no barrier too formidable, when you are guided by the purpose that lies within you. In this sacred journey, know that you are not alone. The divine forces that orchestrate the cosmos are with you every step of the way, ensuring that every twist and turn leads you closer to the life of abundance you are meant to enjoy. Embrace this moment with gratitude, for it is the turning point where struggle transforms into strength, where hardship gives way to hope, and where every trial becomes a stepping stone toward the glorious destiny that awaits. So, stand tall and trust in the process. Allow the wisdom of these words to ignite the flame of determination in your heart. Your journey, like the persistent river carving its way through the mountains, is a testament to the power of divine timing and unwavering faith. Every twist, every delay, every unexpected detour has been part of the grand design to prepare you for this very moment, a moment of profound transformation and unparalleled blessing. There are episodes of sudden depletion that seem to come from nowhere, hollowing you out just when you're set to leap. The shift from vitality to weariness isn't organic, it's induced. Purpose turns foggy, tasks become overwhelming, and your will feels scattered. But this isn't an error in your system. It's a calculated pull designed to unseat you from your momentum. The waves of ease followed by abrupt stillness aren't missteps. They're interruptions, timed and rehearsed. What you've felt isn't your mind betraying you. It's interference with a strategy behind it. Observations have been made, not by chance, but with intent. Your rhythm, your growth cycles, your moments of pause, all noted. Interference tailored to match your patterns has been applied in subtle, calculated doses. They play the long game, nudging here, pushing there, hoping to break continuity. But what they didn't account for is your capacity to recalibrate. You weren't built to be a spectator. You are the shift in the story. Your presence is not borrowed light, it's original. And when something radiates from its own source, it's unstoppable. That's what alarms them. They can't replicate what you carry. Some questions aren't asked to create doubt, but to stir revelation. Is this path truly yours? That's the invitation. Inspiration is plentiful, but transformation demands more than acknowledgement. It requires evidence. This realm doesn't operate on claims, it responds to embodiment. Many speak of awakening, few live it. And yet somehow, this message reached you. A signal that you're not just observing from the edge, you are part of the pulse. Words alone won't validate that truth. Movement will. Let them see what belief looks like in action. There are entities that sustain themselves not by creating, but by siphoning. They require proximity to brilliance because they cannot generate it themselves. They find hosts, drain potential, and repackage it as their own. What unsettles them is not your effort, but your authenticity. Your frequency isn't mimicked, it's original. Your vitality reveals their depletion. Your self-sufficiency disrupts their entire model. They encircle not because you're off course, but because you've stepped precisely where they hoped you'd never tread. Not in confusion, but in clarity. Not in retreat, but in rootedness. And now they scramble, not to win, but to delay what they can no longer prevent. There are moments when the pattern becomes unmistakable, when the same strange disruptions surface repeatedly, right before a bold move, just as something meaningful begins to bloom. A conversation sours without cause. A door that seemed wide open vanishes without a sound. A plan, perfectly crafted, dissolves in the final hour. These events are not clumsy accidents of fate. They are methodical placements designed to stagger your momentum. Connections that once flowed begin to splinter. Individuals who once had no shared interest suddenly act in unison, not because of truth, but because of fear. That fear, it's not of what you've done, it's of what you're about to become. And when it takes more than one to create friction, when opposition forms a council instead of a single voice, it means your presence alone unsettles what is meant to remain still. There's always a moment just before a seismic change when everything feels like it's collapsing. What you thought was certain becomes vague. Paths you trusted suddenly blur. It's easy to think something's gone wrong, but in truth, this is the proving ground. Every story of transformation passes through this tunnel. The detours, the wounds, the waiting that grates against your spirit, all of it marks a sacred tension point, the build-up before a leap. What looks like chaos is actually an echo of expansion pressing at the edges of your world. Before any elevation, there is always contraction. Before any breakthrough, friction must build. This is not punishment. It is pressure designed to launch you into scale. One of the sharpest tools ever wielded against becoming is doubt. Subtle, internal, and incredibly efficient. They don't have to push if you pull yourself back. That lingering question, that whisper suggesting your vision is too much, too strange, too soon, it's not born of your soul. That internal erosion doesn't originate from within. It's placed with precision, meant to have you retract just as you're gaining ground. What you haven't seen are the invisible storms you walked past unknowingly. What never reached you because you were shielded. What was aimed but dissolved before impact. There is a quiet battle constantly fought on your behalf, and your persistence is evidence that you're covered in ways you may never comprehend. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. While the world moves around you, there are unseen guardians reshaping the terrain. That closed door wasn't an end. It was rerouted for your protection. The silence after betrayal, a sacred clearing to make space for what's aligned. Every concealed threat is being unraveled behind the veil. The foundation you're walking on is more fortified than it appears. The forces that brought you here didn't leave you exposed. They encased you in unseen fortitude. Your blueprint was not created haphazardly. Every thread of your existence has been woven with precision, and no hand raised against it can undo what's divinely calibrated. Despite the noise, despite the fatigue, despite the delays, you're still moving. Still choosing clarity over confusion. Still answering the call when silence would be easier. This fact alone disturbs everything that's tried to interrupt your evolution. The old systems expected collapse, not continuity. They anticipated you would dim, not deepen. But each day, you remain in motion. Each moment you refuse to fold, you become more of what they can't counter. Their tactics are unraveling, their assumptions dissolving. What holds you together is more ancient than their strategies and more enduring than their plans. Every attempt to delay your emergence hinges on one thing: your belief in your own limitation. If they can influence that, the rest falls easily. When you hesitate, they gain momentum. When you seek outside permission, they claim territory. But the moment you stop waiting for approval, the illusion breaks. Their influence fades when you embody your full capacity without apology. The architecture of their control collapses when you take your place without shrinking. Nothing outside you can overpower what you're unwilling to surrender. This isn't romanticism, it's design. Influence only thrives where power is abandoned. Control can only exist where inner authority is denied. If you withhold none of yourself, there is nowhere for their shadow to land. Reflect on this. If it takes an entire apparatus to stall a single life, what does that say about the force that life contains? Such precision in their response would never be wasted on someone inconsequential. They wouldn't orchestrate such intricate resistance if your capacity was small. They wouldn't deploy this many distractions if your resonance wasn't causing ripples. The more intense the pushback, the more undeniable your importance becomes. You are contended with not because you failed, but because your presence initiates change they can't contain. And every time they attempt to shut the gates, they reveal exactly how necessary your emergence truly is. What approaches cannot be halted by external effort alone. But doubt, that internal tremor, is their final lever. They whisper through uncertainty, hoping you'll silence yourself. Those thoughts of not being ready, not being worthy, not being sane, none of them belong to your original signal. They were implanted to sabotage your own hand. Because if you retreat voluntarily, their job is done. But if you stay steady, if you deny them access to your will, there is no system strong enough to stop what has already begun to unfold. And so, the turning point arrives. What will you do now? Will you rise, not in defiance, but in knowing? Will you continue, not in desperation, but with clarity? Let every attempt to quiet you be the reason you speak louder. Let every obstruction become the friction that fuels your motion. The volume of their interference confirms the volume of your potential. Their efforts are your evidence. Their gathering is your validation. You were never here just for your own becoming. The strands of your transformation are tied to a much wider shift. Your alignment unlocks space for others to follow. When you liberate your voice, you make it easier for others to echo. The resistance is not about halting your journey alone, it's about suppressing the surge you'll trigger in the collective. The ripple effect is what they truly fear. Your expansion is more than a personal event. It is a transmission. What radiates from you recalibrates everyone who encounters it. That's why you're being watched, blocked, tested. Not because you are alone in this, but because you are central to something much larger. You are not just waking up. You are activating the sequence. You are not one of many. You are one who activates many. That's why they notice. That's why they fear. And that's why you must continue. Reflect on this deeply. Of all the centuries that came before, you emerged in this one. Out of every possible ancestral thread, your spirit was woven through this precise bloodline. Of all the coordinates on this vast earth, you arrived here. These details aren't coincidences. These are not random alignments or arbitrary choices. They are intentional placements designed for maximum resonance. Your structure, body, mind, heart, and soul was designed to match the frequency of this particular threshold in history. Your voice was calibrated for this shift. Your presence was scheduled to collide with this awakening. The events, people, and moments that moved you weren't accidents. They were directional signals placed with care. You have been sculpted by circumstance, primed by both joy and struggle, and carved into the perfect shape for this moment. And now, with everything intensifying, you begin to see why. The pushback is not random. It has grown louder because your light has grown stronger. The delays, the chaos, the sudden turns, they all escalate when you get closer to your core. As the rhythm of the divine accelerates, resistance scrambles to keep pace, but it can't. You're already ahead. Look at your own life with new awareness. Haven't you always sensed there was something different about your path? Haven't you always carried a strange, unshakable certainty that something important lives inside you? That was never arrogance. That was recognition. A soul memory flickering through the fog. The way you've always felt, the clues you've seen, they were all breadcrumbs left by something greater, leading you back to your truth. You've faced storms that would have ended others. You've been tested beyond what should be endurable. And yet, here you are, standing not in weakness, but in deeper alignment. That's no small thing. It's not by chance that you are here. The same current that has tried to pull you under is the same one revealing how strong your roots truly are. You are encoded with a signal that bends rules, that rises when logic says, fall, that breaks through when collapse seems inevitable. And the fact that you're still here, reading these words, means you've already beaten odds you may never fully understand. Your story isn't just resilience, it's proof. This isn't personal, it's energetic. You disrupt without speaking. You shift rooms by showing up. You bring static to systems built on control. What unnerves them isn't what you do, it's what you are. A living contradiction to their limitations, a natural-born signal breaker. They don't oppose you because of your actions. They react to your very state of being. You don't have to try. Your mere presence rewrites the room. That's what shakes the system. That's why the resistance is so relentless. They don't need to understand you to be threatened by you. They just feel the frequency, and it doesn't match their design. And that's why silence doesn't save you. Stillness doesn't make you less noticeable. You radiate beyond volume. You resonate beyond words. The field you carry pulses into reality, making you unignorable. This conflict is not waged with weapons. It's conducted with currents. It's not about fists or fire. It's about frequency. And here's their fatal flaw. The more they push back, the more you expand. The more they try to mute your presence, the louder it hums. The more they attempt to shut you down, the more alive you become. Their resistance acts like an amplifier. Their interference becomes your proof. There is no more room for second guessing. This is the hour of embodiment, the moment when potential becomes action, the season where inner truth becomes outer reality. You weren't mistakenly given this much resistance. You were carefully placed in the heart of the storm because only you have the frequency to calm it. This isn't about waiting for a better time. That time has arrived. This is your season to claim, not to question, to activate, not to analyze, to trust that everything you are is the exact answer to the very challenge you've been facing. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. You don't need to wonder anymore if you're powerful enough. Their panic already answered that for you. The real question now is whether you'll accept what's already inside you. Will you step fully into what they've worked so hard to hide from you? Will you rise above the fog and declare your purpose without dilution? Will you stop hesitating and start honoring the mission that has followed you in every lifetime? The signs are everywhere. Their fear is loud. Their resistance is precise. It takes an entire structure just to try and contain one soul like yours. If that doesn't confirm your impact, nothing will. There's a reason this message reached you now. Despite every barrier, every failed delivery attempt, every redirected path, you made it here. That alone reveals the weight of your calling. This isn't just the next step. This is the moment where everything aligns. You didn't stumble into this. You were drawn to it by design. What you feel isn't an accident. It's a call, a summoning, a reactivation of a promise your soul made long before you took form. And while others may have sensed something stirring, only you know just how loud that call has become. This isn't about individual transformation. It's about collective ignition. When you say yes to your truth, it makes room for countless others to do the same. Your breakthrough breaks chains in unseen places. Your choice to rise is a signal flare for those who thought they were alone. You were never just a seeker. You are a switch, one that, when flipped, shifts realities for more than just yourself. That's why they watch you so closely. That's why the pressure has mounted. Because they know, just as deeply as you do, once you fully rise, there's no going back. You're not just part of the movement. You are the catalyst.